everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I do hope you feel free and relaxed in this environment. You can grab a cup of coffee, a glass of water, and just relax. In the last video, I shared some resume tips that you would need to consider before you attend an interview. In case you haven't watched it, please feel free to visit our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages, that is ICMI Consultancy. Also feel free to share your thoughts, like, comment, subscribe, and also just share it with your friends. In part 2 today, we will walk through some key points that you would need to take into consideration during the actual interview. I'll share about 6 tips that you might find handy. The first is to build rapport. So you're actually walking into the organization, you've done all your research, you've created your CV, you've sent it over to the company, done a little bit of research on the company as well, and you know exactly who you are meeting for the interview. It's good to make a first good impression. So it's important for you to be warm, for you to be friendly, slightly conversational. Now, this is where some people might go a little bit overboard because, of course, you're a bit nervous and then you might end up, rambling and talking and talking and talking. But a little conversation is no harm. In the Irish context, that's where I'm based at the moment. People like to have a little bit of banter. So people like to kind of just check on each other. How's the weather? How are you finding Ireland? How's the week been? How was the weekend? What did you do for the weekend? Just little small talk. So that would be great for a start. When you actually enter into the interview, it would be very important for you to make good eye contact with the interviewers, but don't overdo it. Don't stare like that. It would be good for you to just actually have eye contact when somebody is asking you a question or when you're responding. Just speak with confidence and an aura around you and just address the question that you have been asked. Remember, keep it simple and short. So go straight to the point, have confidence while you're speaking, and just look straight in the individual's eyes. It's also important for you to pay attention when you're being introduced to the interviewers. So, for example, you'd be told this is Mr. X, that's Mrs. X, or in the European or overseas context, it would just be the first and the last name of the individual without necessarily the prefix. So it would be very vital for you to at least remember their first names. You don't have to remember all their names, but at least have an idea of, okay, this is Alice, or that's Brittany, or that's Brandon. And of course, you would have already done your research beforehand to be able to determine what sections or what areas of specialization that these people actually already are in it. So be nice to everyone as well that you meet along the company corridors. So it's not just the interviewers that you want to make an impression with, right from the reception, right from when you get off the lift and you're moving and walking into the company, whoever you meet, just say hello, give a smile, and just nod, especially now during COVID, we are all wearing masks. You probably might not be too close to an individual, but you can actually either wave, just a nice warm wave, or just say hello, good morning, or good afternoon, how are you doing? That would be really important. Number 2, know your skills. So as we discussed earlier, each job description is an indication of what the potential employer is looking for in a candidate. So it is important for you to be able to match at least 90 to 100%. Probably you might not get to the 100%, but at least 90% of your CV should be able to match that job description. I mean, you should be able to have examples of where you have demonstrated the competency skills that they are actually looking for. So for example, you can draw experience from, university or college days, from your current or previous experience, from your hobbies or interests, and as well, you might have participated in voluntary work. So that's another element that you can draw your experience in. Also practice telling these examples using the STAR framework. So in one of the follow-up videos, I might just talk about, how to utilize the STAR framework during interviews. So by STAR framework, I mean the situation, task, action, and results. So situation, task, action, and results. So I will share a video hopefully in the next few coming weeks on how you can actually utilize that framework to be able to answer any question in an interview. Another key important element is be truthful. So if your CV says that you have participated in A, B, C, D, then it is important that that is the honest truth. Please desist from telling lies, because you will actually be caught out one way or another. Because you might go into an interview and that is the exact same question that they will ask. Please walk us through. I see you have said that you volunteered in a cancer society. Could you walk us through what your tasks were? So if you did tell a lie in your CV, you'll be caught out. Number 3, don't hang out your dirty laundry. So don't go about telling inappropriate stories or talk negatively, especially about a previous employer that you have worked with or a job that you disliked. If you did not like a particular job that you worked in, say for example, if you found the supervisor was probably not very lenient, or was discriminating against you, for example, or things were just not working out for you, you don't have to tell all those stories during your interview. You can leverage on the nice elements or the vital elements that you have learned and the experience that you have learned in that specific job. So always think positive, positive, positive. Of course, there would be a reason why you're moving on from your current or your previous employer. And of course, you have to be genuine about that. But again, don't tell inappropriate stories. Also, have an outlook, a positive outlook on negative events. So if things did go wrong in the past, show that you have learned from that experience and that you have learned 1 or 2 things and you are able to move on from that. I would recommend that in the first interview, don't ask about planned holidays. A moment of silence there again. Possibly you have moved from your last role already having planned, say, for Christmas holidays or for Easter holidays. You don't want to come out as if, you're already getting in here and I already want to take days off, You're not yet already even in the door. So don't ask about planned holidays unless the question is asked by the interviewer, whether you had previously already, booked your holidays. Then you can go ahead and notify them that yes, I do have a few holidays booked, say for Easter or for the summer or for Christmas, but of course I'm able to reschedule if that is needed. Be flexible as well. Another element that we would recommend you not asking during the first round interviews, that is, don't ask about the salary in the first round interview. So I would recommend that you wait until you have an offer for you to be able to discuss the terms and conditions. Say, for example, some interviews are about, 2 rounds or so. So the first round is basically they would just like to learn about you, just be able to, see and experience you and just try to understand or have a view of how you would fit or whether you would fit within their organization. So your focus is more on answering and making that impression and, selling the value that you could bring to that organization. The second round of interviews mostly is more technical. So if you're in a technical field, possibly you would go through, some assessments, or you would go through, some technical jobs. You'd be invited on site, so that they can see how you handle machines or how you go about certain tasks. Now, when you get to the offer stage, then they, of course, will let you know what they are willing to offer. And from there, unless you're asked within the first or the second round interviews on what your salary expectations are, please just veer away from that. I will also tackle in one of my videos about how to address, when you're asked about salary. Most of us, kind of veer off that question, or most of us, just go ahead and say, oh, I'm looking for 35,000 euro per annum, or I'm looking for 50,000 euro per annum, or I say I'm looking for about 100,000 shillings. Please, please, please. I'll address that in a video coming soon. Number 4, please remember that you're just having a conversation. You being there, just take it as if, you're just having a chat with a mentor, or having a chat, just with your colleagues. Sometimes you're asked a question and, you feel like you go blank. Oh, I didn't think about that question. If that happens, just take some time. Just relax, take a breather. You don't have to go answering the question right away. You can just actually pause and think about what you are going to say next. It will definitely come. So don't say the first thing that comes to your mind. Just take a deep breath and think, okay, how can I answer this question? And of course, they're there. The interview might take about 45 minutes, an hour. They will be patient enough to listen to your side. If you don't understand a question, please feel free to ask. Many of us veer off from this, so we go, giving an answer to a question that's not even been asked, and that's not what the interviewer is looking for. So it's important, if you're not sure about what is being asked, just clarify. You can paraphrase the question just so you understand that this is surely what I'm being asked to respond to. And if the panel or the interviewers do probe you on, challenge you on something that you have already responded to, please note that this does not mean that you're answering the question wrongly. No, it's just part of the interview process. That is what they are there to do, to actually challenge you and to actually probe, to see if you will definitely fit in the organization, if you are an added value to their organization. Again, I'll reiterate that if you know that you are rambling when you're asked a question, acknowledge it and, be able to move on from that and get to the point fast. Number 5, some questions that you can probably ask when you're in the interview. So when it's coming closer to the end of the interview, you would be asked, oh, do you have any questions for us? Or is there anything that you would like us to respond or to answer? Yeah, at this point in time, of course, you've already done your research of the company. So some questions that would come in handy would be like, for example, if I'm successful in this role, what would be the next steps in the process? Or if I'm successful at this phase, at this round of interviews, what would the next process look like? Another question that you could ask as well is, what typical career path are within the company? So you're trying to get an understanding, okay, I'm joining in as a junior, but how fast will I progress through the company? A third question would be asking the interviewers themselves, oh, I do see, for example, Anne, I do see that you've worked with the company for a few years in different specializations. What challenges have you faced during this period of time? Or now that it's important that we're going through, the pandemic period, you can ask, what challenges have you faced since the beginning of COVID-19? And how do you think the teams are performing? For example, if teams are working, or if the policy of the company is a hybrid model where some days are in the office and some days are out of office, that's a good question to ask. How have the teams been able to balance or actually utilize their strengths during this period, Another element or a question that you can ask is development opportunities in the company. So, for example, most companies would have internal trainings that they take their employees through at various phases. So for example, if you're a trainee for a period of year, or say for example 2 to 3 years, each year there's a specific training that you would need to go through before you progress to the next level. So it's important to have a clear understanding of what those look like. Also, it's very important for you to find out what are the recent company developments. If it's a manufacturing company or the manufacturing industry, it would be good to understand what new products do you have in the market. What recent acquisitions do you have? Are there any mergers and acquisitions? Have you developed anything in the time frame? And what is, for example, your 5-year plan as a company? So some of those would have been addressed already through the overall company website, but that's something that would be good to also be addressed by the interviewers, because some of them would be working in those departments. We are coming to the end of the interview, and there's just one more element that we would need to take into consideration. Always remember that the interview is just a process, it's just a phase of what's to come ahead. At the end of the interview, they will always ask, have you anything to add? Or have you anything to say? Have you any further questions? Guys, this is your opportunity to hit them with 3 reasons why you should get that job. So you should be reiterating, always have about 4 reasons, or to actually say, okay, I am really interested in the job because of A, B, and C. Also restate your genuine interest in the role and the company. So apart from the 3 reasons, also just show that you're genuinely interested, in the role, and you're interested in being a part of the company as well. You can also at the end just shake their hands if it's applicable, or just thank them for their time and thank them, for the opportunity that they've given to you. And always remember, please use their names. So thank you, Anne. Thank you, Patrick, for availing me this opportunity to actually come for this interview. I do appreciate your sacrifice. Last thing to remember is that the interview is not over until you have gotten into your car or gotten onto that bus and left the premises. So you never know, Some people possibly would leave the interview, and as soon as you're downstairs, you're holding your smoke and you're ready to smoke away. Tell you what, there are people that are still watching. People are still keeping their eye on you. So just remember that it's not over until you're out of that gate. So always carry yourself in a manner that you would like to firstly be addressed. Ensure that you hold and you carry with you confidence. I know that this will be helpful tips to get you to the next interview. I do hope you have enjoyed the video. Please share your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. Reach out to us through our Facebook or Instagram pages as well, ICMI Consultancy. You can also check our website, that is www.icmiconsultancy.com. Feel free to write to us, like, comment, and share this video as well. I do hope to chat to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.